All right, Whisper, the winged unicorn. In the middle of the forest, a beautiful unicorn dangled her feet in the water. As she peered into the quiet little pool, the summer wind whispered through her feathery white wings. It was from this soft sound that she got her name, Whisper. Whisper loved to play. Often she would spend an entire day frolicking with her butterfly friends, but when they began to flutter high into the air, she watched sadly from the ground. Although her wings were lovely, Whisper was afraid to fly. All of the other creatures of Rainbow Forest, where Whisper lived, thought her wings were magnificent. Bixby the rabbit was a great admirer of Whisper. Whenever he saw her, he would ask her about flying. "Oh, Whisper," sighed Bixby, "it must be wonderful to fly. You can travel to faraway places in the blink of an eye. Please, Whisper, will you fly for me?" "Not just now," stammered Whisper, for she was too embarrassed to tell Bixby that she had never flown at all. Whisper told Bixby goodbye and walked on. Soon she saw Tommy the turtle balancing himself on a big rock. "I've been looking for you everywhere," he cried breathlessly. "Look, Whisper, I'm practicing flying. Any minute now, any second, I will be soaring and swooping. But first, I must ask you a question. During takeoff, is it better to start with the knees bent or..." "I'm sorry, but I cannot help you right now," said Whisper as she hurried away. As Whisper wandered deeper into the forest, she thought and thought. Finally, she decided that if she did not try to fly at all, she would never know whether she could. So when she neared the water, she got a galloping start, squeezed her eyes shut, and jumped into the air. For a moment, everything was still. Then Whisper landed in the water with a big splash. Her beautiful rainbow mane and tail were soaked, and drops of water ran down her forehead. Resting on a floating log, Whisper began to cry. Whisper climbed out of the water and lay down in the shade of the birch trees. "What good are my wings if I cannot use them?" she sobbed. "I want to learn to fly, but I'm afraid I'll fall out of the sky." "Did I hear you say afraid?" echoed a loud but gentle voice. Whisper quickly jumped to her feet. "Who are you?" she asked. "I am Dorian, the all-time friendly and sometimes frightened dragon of Rainbow Forest. Do not find fault with yourself because you are afraid. There is not a creature in the forest who does not know fear. You will find the courage to fly, but you must be patient. Go to the giant oak tree and sleep beneath its sturdy branches. When you awake, you will feel better." Whisper did as Dorian told her. As night approached in the forest, she made her way to the spot where the giant oak grew. She nestled into the soft grass beside its giant trunk and fell asleep. All night long, Whisper dreamed of flying. When she awoke in the morning, she was surrounded by her forest friends. "We're going to play tag. Come play with us," said her friends. Then off they went, leaving Whisper to catch them. Even though she was still a bit sleepy, Whisper sprang to her feet and hurried after her friends. Whisper wasn't quite sure why, but she wasn't afraid anymore. It was a beautiful morning, and the wind felt good as it whispered through her wings. Without really thinking about it, she began to move her wings back and forth as she ran. And then, almost magically, her feet left the ground and she began to rise into the air. Whisper was flying. Higher and higher she rose until she could see all of Rainbow Forest below. From that day on, whenever Whisper soared through the sky, her friends in Rainbow Forest watched and wondered. She was a most beautiful sight. Yet Whisper never forgot how frightened she had once been. When she was afraid, she remembered Dorian's words. Do not find fault with yourself because you are afraid. There is not a creature in the forest who does not know fear. And after that, Whisper found the courage to try many new things.